Hey guys, Heavy on 45 here. Now, in about a week, I'm gonna be going to the Anime Blues Con, and since that's coming up, I was sitting here thinking about anime worlds that would be interesting to go to, anime worlds that would be completely horrible for me to go to, and I figured that I would go ahead and just talk about the ones this time on. The ones that I wouldn't want to go to. And the day when the con starts, which is July 12th, I'm going to not go. I'm going to say the word, like, if I lived in that universe, which anime universes would I be cool with living in? So we don't do this from 10 to 1. Uh, I try to put them in a particular order, but all of them just kind of tragic in me. And the ones that I don't want to live in for the most part are those that just basically I could most likely die in. And I'll explain a little bit why. The number 10, One Punch Man universe. The One Punch Man universe is cool. When you see my list of places I would like to be in, I like the idea of you getting powers based, like anyone can get powers to where everybody can be a superhero a lot of times. But the thing about the One Punch Man universe is, even if you become a hero, that really doesn't mean much because all the villains seem to be better than everyone else. Every fight that seems to happen in the One Punch Man universe is one that basically only S class or higher can take care of. There is no one. You don't see a lot of C ranks and stuff like that being able to take care of stuff. And I know that One Punch Man is supposed to be like the nuclear bomb of the whole world. Like, he can just take out everything if he wanted to. But you know, with you being just an average person, if you did want to get into the hero business, I basically die instantly. It's just like all the villains are always better than anyone that is class A or below. So that's the first one I wouldn't want to be in. Number 9, Shinmin Arrow. Now this one would not kill me, but the whole basis of this show is that to keep people from having lewd thoughts, they have calls around their necks that restrict them, and they basically try to correct you, like do mind altering stuff to change your mind from after you do something like that. And I just don't like the idea that I like the idea of freedom to do whatever you want. You know, everyone has a choice. That's what I like. That it probably should have been under One Punch Man, but who cares? Number 8 is Fist of the North Star. I love Ken from Fist of the North Star, but if you're not Ken, life is pretty terrible for you. You're basically at any random time, your city could be attacked by a bunch of gangs that basically would try and kill you like you were all of a sudden in a Mad Max movie. They would just suddenly come up, kill you. That's it. So the whole idea of just being a random person in the in the Fist of the North Star universe is kind of depressing, and I would most likely die. You have a high likelihood of dying in those worlds unless you like completely submit to someone and basically is protected by a gang by giving them money. Don't want to live in the apocalypse like that. Number 7, the Berserk universe. Berserk, for most part, is just horrible world. There is despair everywhere. Everyone is depressed. There's no idea of anything good happening in the world. It's a time of constant war. all the kingdoms are fighting against each other, and not only are they fighting against each other, you have just everyone is like they're expecting to die. Between the monsters and the kingdoms fights, they just there's no way to live it. So as a normal guy just being around, you'll probably die. Now, number 6. Danganronpa. Also, very disparaging. You will die, most likely, you will either die or go insane. Which, to that universe, it doesn't matter. The whole idea is creating chaos. So, it's sort of just not something that you want. I would die. Those are places that, I mean, Danganronpa, I will either go mad from all the despair that's going around, or I will kill myself. Either one is perfectly fine with the antagonist of that show. And I should play the games, but I haven't yet. Number 5, Akame got killed. I like Akame. I like all the Imperial arms. Can't live in that world as an ordinary person. By just being an ordinary person, especially if you lived in the capital and you're poor, you're most likely going to be killed by one of the rich people there, or they'll find some way to subjugate you in any way. So it's not good, with corruption going so. It's so in your face if you look at the corruption in the story that, if you're not one of the main characters, and even if you are one of the main characters, you most likely gonna die. When they're willing to kill off, I'll say about 85%, 95% of their main characters for the story, they're basically willing to kill you too. Number 4, Evangelion. I would definitely die Evangelion, because if you're not one of the 4 children, you're most likely dead. Even if you work in nerve command center, you could die. There is no way of, especially if you're American, there is no way of basically making sure that you live through Evangelion. Even if you watch the end of Evangelion, you're basically dead. Most of the people have been killed once you get to any one of the Evangelion endings that you get to. Number 3, Tokyo Ghoul. I like Tokyo Ghoul. I like watching it. I feel sympathy for the ghouls. Through the whole show, you see sympathy for the ghouls. You're cheering for the ghouls somewhat. Not forgetting that if you're just a normal person and a ghoul sees you, you could possibly be lunch. And you don't know which ones you will find. You don't know if you're running to Jason. You don't know if you're running to the gourmet or any other random people. And if you look in the very first episode, you have a person just going on a random date. They go on a date, and next thing you know, you're lunch. And for the glutton to be able to do that, she had did this before. So that means that it worked. So yeah, no, I would die in Tokyo Ghoul, no problems. Parasite, same thing. You don't know who's infected, because until you talk to them, they seem completely normal. Like, the very first thing you see when you watch the show, is just husband sitting there holding his wife by the shoulders. Head opens up, her eyes looking shocked, and her head's gone. That is the end of her. There is no way of fighting the parasites. And another world that I'll have to deal with is, my number 1 is Attack on Titan. I could not live in the Attack on Titan world because, as a normal person, I'm either in the wall or I'm in lunch. Between the Colossal Titan, the Armored Titan, the Beast Titan, I'm trying to remember all the other Titans that I really think just messed up. Oh yeah, the female Titan. Between all the Titans that they have, my life is basically like living just in the walls would basically be just you sitting there waiting for somebody to come out and having a Titan come and eat you. Like we saw what happened with Aaron's family. They seemed like they were safe. The next thing I know, the wall goes down, and all of a sudden, their whole city became lunch. And that's literally all that you get. There is, out of several of these that I've said, there is no hope in any of them of you making it through with no damage or like you just living a normal life. If you could live just a normal life and everything be fine, it'd be good. But you're talking about Attack on Titan, Parasite, Tokyo Ghoul, Evangelion. These are world-ending activities. The ghouls could eat everyone up and basically run out of food. We know that's very much possible. The parasites, literally, they had said at one point that if they kept doing this, that they could actually kill the population of Earth in not that much time. Attack on Titan. If the scouts and everything were not there to help, people would most likely die. And we know the scouts are going now to actually outside the wall, which they apparently are the best fighters we have because no one else in the walls actually can do anything. And I feel like that's a good amount of stuff. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Tell me what y'all favorite. What anime world you wouldn't want to go to, and I'll send a comment, make a comment about it. It'll be cool. And next week I'll tell you the ones that I wrote down myself. My top 10 places that universes that I'd be willing to be a part of. And I'll catch y'all later.